So at the beginning, I wanted to yell Excelsior, sort of in the vein of Stan Lee, since I was in the Empire State for the last couple days. But it turns out that, hopefully you can hear me, I'm in the Garden State. So even though the hotel room is all about the Chrysler Building background here, so don't be alarmed. We started a little bit early. Well, you'll know that we hit the top of the hour when I say welcome to the Do Nothing Project. I'm not Jeff. So when I say that, then you'll know we're at the top of the hour. And if you catch me looking down, it's because I'm gonna try to double duty tonight and be chat moderator to some degree, and be our guide, do our guiding here. Yeah. So, hello, Jennifer. It's just, and howdy to Brian as well. Hello to Fred. Bonjour. Okay, good, loud and clear. I was like, if it wasn't loud and clear, then, then I've been talking for a minute and 20 seconds. Hello, Sonali and Colette. It's so great to have folks. So, I just realized, so I've been trying to keep a list of all the people that I met this weekend. And let's see. So Nat and Betsy and I think Allison and Patrick, maybe. Patrick Stella. I know were folks that mentioned the Do Nothing Project. So just so it doesn't, so I'm not doing the third degree. In case you'd forgot, this past weekend was Jeff's Omega retreat at the Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, which I think counts as being in the Hudson Valley. And it was Jeff's Being Human Takes Practice, what the Fidgety Skeptics workshops at Omega have morphed into. Hello to Gabrielle, and hey Cindy. Just seeing if I catch some people. Oh, Ruth! I was just going to say, I think I missed some important people. Ruth and Tina and Chris. I didn't acknowledge Chris. That's good. And we got good sound and good picture. That's amazing. Okay, so Patrick is there. Okay, so I got to see and meet Patrick in person. Artsy Traveler, hello. Victoria, welcome. All right, I said hi to Brian. Okay, and Bill B, welcome to Bill B. And then hello to Will. Oh, Van Miller is probably on the road back home to Illinois, but Van was also at the retreat. Let's see if I can catch anyone else. Deborah, hello to Deborah and Susan Yu. Hello. Mike G, hello. I met a Mike at the retreat. I don't know if that was you, Mike G. All right. I said hi to Will. Okay, and that's as far as YouTube's gonna let me go. So, here we are at the top of the hour, and welcome to the Do Nothing Project. I'm not Jeff. I'm Andrew. I'm filling in for Jeff. So we are both, oh, hello, Saban, and Marjorie. Welcome, Marjorie, as well. And Cheryl. Rod. Hello again, Rod. Hailing in from Portland. Guitar Bob, welcome. Valentina, hey. Dreamer76, how you doing? And then Catherine Maddox, how are you? All right, hopefully I said hi to you, Cindy. And Tina, hopefully I said hi. All right. Oh, and Holly and Richard. Cashew! Hello to you, Cashew. All right, and Mitch. Mr. Not a Not himself, Annalisa, welcome. So, had a fantastic retreat. Jeff is actually in the middle of figuring out his flight got canceled, and it doesn't look like he's going to get a flight back until Tuesday, I think is where he left it. So he's trying to make it back to Brooke. Hello. He's trying to make it back to the 6th to YYZ, if you want to speak in airport codes, Toronto. But it looks like his flight was canceled, and so there's a good chance maybe that he can fly standby tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed. So, we'll bestow well wishes for Jeff's travel here at the end of our meditation, maybe at the very end. So, as I mentioned, I'm not Jeff. I'm Andrew. I am a YYZ. Oh, Ruth. See, I totally outed myself. See, I was trying to be as Canadian as I could be, but I realized it is YYZ. That is a most excellent correction there. Ruth has the best keen corrections. So, yeah, and so hello to Molly. So Saban, the someplace else I am is I'm in the Garden State. I'm in Newark, and we're across the river from the city. Hello, Mick K, and Virtual Debs. Welcome. So for folks that don't know, Omega is up the Hudson River in the Hudson Valley area. It's just an incredibly beautiful area, especially if you are a desert dweller like me. It is green in all directions, and it's a really cool opportunity to practice out there. The retreat is a residential weekend retreat that Jeff led. It sounds like, yeah. Oh yeah, and Esquin, there is no moderator tonight, so hopefully things will go okay. Welcome to Anne. And we might even have a few folks. So there were a number of folks that were at the retreat that were new to the retreat, or new to practice in the last couple of years, and some folks that didn't know about the Do Nothing Project yet. So maybe we'll have some new Do Nothing Project folks, and maybe is Anne one of them? Welcome, Anne. Oh wow, Artsy Traveler, you're born 45 minutes away. Cool. Yeah. I realized this is the first time I've been in the Garden State, so that was I have not been to New Jersey yet, so I can check that off. So yes, why don't we get started? We should Van. Okay, I was just saying there's a good chance that Van will be amongst the group. Got to meet Van. Welcome tomorrow. Yeah, so what to expect? As Jeff likes to say, keep your expectations low. Expect not much of anything, and I'll probably do like a mini debrief for what I got out of the retreat at the end. I don't want to hello Tamarin. I don't want to, as Richard points out, I don't want to front load too much here at the top. So we're 5 minutes into our scheduled time, but I started early, so I've been yammering a little bit longer. And then at some point here, I'll make sure to try to, hopefully I'll have some links for everybody. Oh, welcome, Mallory. Oh, hey, cool. And let's just, I'm not normally on the iPad. Welcome, Trisha. Cool. And hello to Amy. So like Richard said, we should get started. And what are we going to get started? We're going to have a 25-minute sit. There'll be light guidance. I'm going to try to work in some spacious silence. So one of the things that was a little bit of a piece that came out of the retreat was really giving folks an opportunity for silence in that sit. We're going to sit for 25 minutes, and so I'm going to try to front load a little bit of guidance at the beginning and then give you a little bit then in the middle, and then we're going to cap off the 25 minutes with a 5-minute nurture positive. You can also think of it as a friendliness practice, or more traditionally we might call it a loving kindness or metta practice. And our metta theme tonight will be like acknowledging the behind the scenes people. So there are a lot of people that were at the retreat, and there are sort of untold amount of people that helped make that happen. And so I want to use that as a little bit of a theme for noticing the people in our lives that kind of are making things happen for us. So that's the little teaser theme for our friendliness practice. I'm going to set my 25-minute timer. So I've got 25 minutes on the clock. And then we're going to see here if I can pull this off. I have seen people do this where they use their phone as their bell. And so since I don't have my I actually have travel bells, which is a funny thing to say out loud that I have travel bells, but I have bells that are usually in my backpack with me. Usually when people find out that you're a meditation coach and you travel for work or you travel and do stuff, then they ask you to guide a meditation sometimes. So it's always helpful to have a set of bells. But we're going to use my phone. And then as was pointed out, I'm double duty. So you may see me looking over and just kind of tracking a little bit along with chat as we're in guidance here, just on the off chance that I need to put anybody in timeout or anything like that. All right, so we're gonna ring the bell virtually to begin. Maybe you can hear, hello Emily, welcome, just in time. So we're just starting. So you might hear it's raining here in the Garden State. Sun really just set. Or on sunset on Eastern time at least. So in the beginning of the sit, really, I'm in that mode of just trying to kind of make sure I can pull my sort of scatteredness into where I'm sitting. So that starts with checking in about my posture. You could be standing or lying down or walking, but I'm going to focus on the seated posture. So either seated in a chair like I am here at the hotel, or on a cushion, or kneeling on a bench. And really we're aiming for this notion of upright without being uptight. So that uptightness kind of makes it difficult for us to maintain, and then that attempt to maintain the posture makes things difficult. So if we can sit in a way that we feel like the spine is balanced on the hips, gives us a little bit of a feeling of kind of the upper torso floating a bit. And then checking in to see kind of what's the start state for you right now as you enter into the sit. As Jeff will say, like, what's already here? And we're really primarily bringing in a welcoming attitude. And so we might find that there's some tension, maybe in the jaw, around the eyes. Just noticing it, not chasing it away or shooing it. And then just capping that off with a few deliberate breaths. Slow and low is the tempo that we're going for. Breathing in through the nose allows us to breathe slowly into the belly, and that low breathing into the belly gives us stability as we enter into our sit. Just sort of marking right here as a waypoint. I'm going to give minimal guidance tonight, so you may find that the silence makes you a little bit drifty, and you may want to come back to this spot of just sitting and knowing that you're sitting. So my environment, the sounds, maybe the rain, the sort of airport infrastructure noises may blur and blend into your environment. You may get scattered by that, and just kind of coming back to a seated posture. And then to begin with, just kind of, if it feels right, working with a comfortable, familiar home base. Maybe that's the air conditioning that just turned on in the room here. So it could be working with sounds as a home base. Constant vent sound can be good. Could be the breath. Could be the breath in a number of different ways too. Whole body breathing, or focused on the belly, or maybe just focused on the nose as the air enters. Or a home base that is familiar for you. So offering that to begin, letting you really connect with that and land here. And then I'll just check in with a few things in a bit. So please explore and get familiar with your home base. sitting, just being able to just bring a little bit of acceptance and maybe allowing, and then your mind may wander off away from your home base, just seemingly untold times, and just seeing if you can bring it back with a sort of evenness. Sort of an okayness with the fact that you know it's going to wander. Not a big deal. Bringing the mind back. As you do that, just seeing if you can bring a little small bit with that acceptance of appreciation. One, that you notice that you were wandering off, and two, that you can be sitting here right now. Just so we can cap a little bit of that rhythm of bringing the attention back and bringing the mind back. A little small bit of appreciation, a little bit of positive regard. And the last little note, if you feel that happening more often, just seeing if there's anything to tune up in your posture. Often when I find that my mind is wandering more, or I'm finding it harder to be with my home base, it's because maybe I've tilted a bit to one side, or I'm leaning a bit forward. Just seeing if there's a little bit of potential for a tune-up in the posture. All right, keep going. And so you're always welcome to continue your meditation and allow my prompts for our friendliness practice to kind of be in the background if you feel like you've really gotten into a groove with your home base. But we're going to shift into our friendliness practice here at the end. Really just seeing if you can bring to mind someone in your daily life or this weekend behind the scenes that kind of helped you be able to do what you needed to do this weekend. So I wouldn't have gotten to the hotel if it wasn't for the shuttle driver. I wouldn't have found the way to get to the shuttle area at the Newark airport without someone helping direct me. And there's these small contributions, or maybe seem small contributions, but really kind of people nudging you along your way. Just bringing to mind anyone that might fit that criteria, and then offering a bit of a thank you. And if thank you doesn't resonate, just say, I appreciate your help. You may feel a little bit of like kind of the warm-heartedness stoking, or maybe you can get a little bit of a deliberate action for that. Hand on the heart or hand on the arm maybe is another way to enliven the practice a bit. And you might think of it as a stranger that's doing you a solid. That's a term I used to always hear. Maybe even something that they might consider nothing big, but is a real help for you. And then just coming up with anyone else that might fit the criteria of sort of behind the scenes help for you. Maybe it's a fellow parent who picked up kids at the school this first week. It's a friend who's helped out. And then again, just bringing that person to mind, visual if you want, sound of their voice if that's helpful, and then offering a thank you. I appreciate your help. Even a little bit of personalizing. Please know how grateful I am. And then for us at the retreat, we had sort of untold people that were really helping make the retreat possible. So I tried to make sure to thank the audio-visual guys that helped us out. Derek and Magnus. And Julian Arthur for all of her support of Jeff and the whole program. Everybody behind the scenes at Omega. And then maybe expanding that gratitude. For me, I want to acknowledge everyone that came to the retreat this weekend. I want to acknowledge everyone tuning in now. Future thinking, I want to acknowledge everybody that watches this in the recorded future. Thank you. I appreciate your help. I am glad you were a part of that. Or you were a part of this. And then a big thank you to Jeff, who's in a bit of travel uncertainty at the moment. Thank you. I appreciate you. The bell is so great, we get 3 rings. So thank you for your practice. Thank you for being part of the live stream. Thank you for all the folks who are watching in the future. Double thank you. That's excellent to hear, Artsy Traveler. Oh, I see someone peeked. Datoing, thank you, Jean. Almost dropped in a Datoing. You are incredibly welcome, Mike G and Gabrielle, as always. It's always a delight to see you here, Gabrielle. You're welcome, Victoria and Courtney, Emily and Chris. Hey, Ruth, you are welcome. Catherine, Marjorie, super welcome. Bill B, yeah, and then Annalisa and Trisha, sorry, and Colette. Oh yeah, that's excellent, Will. Yeah, I do grief. I volunteer with a grief support group, and it's like nothing really fancy, but it's being available for and the age group that I work with is 8 to 12, and I often have to remind myself about the gratitude towards even the folks that are what I might think of as difficult. So and they're really not. So hey, Lynn. Hope the future's treating you well. You're very welcome, Paul. Oh, some calm moments. Excellent to hear, Mitch. Oh, a dreamer. Yeah, hopefully you'll have a great week as well. Hello, Lori. Susan S., you're welcome. And Tamron, Susan U. Double thank yous, yes. Might even get to triple thank yous. Hello, Alicia. Nice. Thank you. We appreciate you too. And Sonali, oh, that's excellent. Yeah, Jeff and I were sort of marveling at the sort of the pop-up. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Christine. The pop-up Sangha. So I managed to sneak into Jeff's Insight, New York Insight Meditation Center talk on Thursday. I made it into town just in time, got across the city and managed to make it. And I snuck in the back. There are a few folks that were at that talk that were also at Omega for the weekend, and Jeff had mentioned, this sort of moment of like that the sanghas for these kind of things are like a spontaneous thing, and I jokingly called it a pop-up sangha. So I wanted to make sure, so on the off chance that anybody from the Omega retreat, I want to say thank you to everybody I met, or everyone who came and introduced themselves. Jules and Russell, Nat, Mish, Betsy, who is a do-nothinger, I believe. So hello to Betsy, Allison, who I think tunes in, Christina, Mike, John, Starla, thank you. Julie, Molly, Maddie, Carl, and then Patrick, you're here, and Van. I also wanted to make sure to offer thank you as well. You're incredibly welcome, Cindy. I'm glad it was a relaxing sit. I think Montana might also be considered a relaxing state from what I can tell. I've only been in little parts of it, but you're very welcome, Deborah. So from a standpoint of what's coming, I think Jeff's got a meditation and a post for Home Base with Jeff that is coming up that's on the 4 Seeds. So folks will remember when Jeff came back from retreat, one of the things he was highlighting is how the 4 seeds, appreciation, acceptance, which are 2 things I mentioned in that little drop-in that I had for cues, are 2 of the seeds. Renunciation, which is a funny word to say, but that is one that kind of maps to clarity. So the idea that you're not allowing yourself to, or you're bringing yourself back, you're sort of renouncing that shift, maybe is the right way to put it. Being raised a Catholic, renunciation has like a different meaning in my mind that goes to right away. And then the 4th seed was being in the present, and so that really kind of is part about the around the concentration aspect. Jeff will have a post on Home Base with Jeff. That's homebasewithjeff.com, all one word. I swear I had links for this. Maybe I do somewhere here that are on my phone, and I was going to post them in chat. So maybe I will find them here. Yes, I did. Okay. So I can post links for you. Oh yeah, well, you're very welcome, Aiden. I think, am I pronouncing that right, Aiden? Hopefully. Yes, the TARDIS. I hope it gets you back. Yeah. And then I think I missed a funny here in chat a little bit earlier about movies, so I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at that. So yeah, Ruth, there were folks that were just delighting in the fact that some of the DMP folks were able to make it to the CEC retreat as well. That's super wonderful. I know that Brooke, and I don't know that Kelly's here, but Brooke and Kelly, who are regular attendees, were at the retreat in North Carolina, and I really would like to make it out to the North Carolina. I think that's in Boone, North Carolina. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Corinne, for sharing that. So there was someone who had noted, and I, for the life of me, can't remember his name, in a share, really kind of reinforcing the notion from that Jeff likes to talk about, of the community, that the shares and the community as the teacher as a whole had highlighted the benefit of the silence and the sits. And sometimes as meditation coaches will be so eager to offer a scaffold that we won't give you as much things in between. And so that share was a direct thing from that. So, oh, when are the retreats and where? Okay, so I think that, okay, so you're going again in November. Interesting. All right, and that's the Art of Living. So to Chris's question, and here I am trying to, so the neuroscientists tell us we can't multitask, but they say you can duotask. So let's see how that works out. So the question is, so I think that right now, if you go to Home Base with Jeff, there may be a retreat section, but if the retreat section doesn't have, or if Home Base with Jeff doesn't have a retreat section at the moment, go to jeffwarren.org, which I just posted. So, and the retreat that Brooke just noted is in November, and that's in Boone, North Carolina. And then I believe this October, there is coming up this October is a meditation party, and that is with Dan Harris, 7A Selassie, who was also at Jeff's talk on Thursday at the New York Insight location. And Dan, or I said Dan already, it's double Dan's now. Dan, Seb, and Jeff will be at Omega for a meditation party. And I think space is running out on that. There was some discussion that was filling up fast. Okay, so 15th through the 17th of November, North Carolina. So that's that question, Chris. So hopefully that gives you a bit. And then I'm not sure on like retreats beyond that, but so in the Art of Living Center that Brooke mentioned, a retreat center is one location that Jeff will have usually has a retreat at during the calendar year, and then Jeff usually does a variation of the Being Human Takes Practice in August at Omega, and then I'm not totally sure where Meditation Party will slot in. I know there were two this year, probably one next year. Look at Brooke, she's doing awesome here. Thank you. 13th or the 11th through the 13th. Some that don't know, Brooke moderates sometimes for my channel on Wednesdays. So one of the links I wanted to, some people had had asked me, hey, I was trying to find your sit on Wednesdays, and like, when is it? Is it in the morning, or like, what's going on with that? Which is always one. I'm always glad that people are will come up and ask those questions. Yeah, and Susan, some things are no. You're doing a great job moderating. That's not try at all. Okay, and so that and then I mentioned Home Base with Jeff. You all know about the MindBod Adventure Pod. That's continuing to go. That's mindbodpod.com, and then cecmeditate.com. So what's the theme for August? You can go to cecmeditate.com for that. There is 7:30 Monday nights a sit, and I usually know who your guide is for the 7:30, but I don't tonight. And then I said I was going to debrief a little bit, and one of the things that I realized is I don't need strong abs for Beachbody aesthetics, but I am realizing as I go and do longer sits that I have to work on my planks and things, because that really helps support my back. So just in a residential retreat, a 3-day, and not even 3 full days, I realized that my posture gets really impacted by that. So that was one of the little takeaways. So what can we do to tune up our posture? Oh, excellent. We would love that, Chris. Yeah, and thanks for asking. Really appreciate that. Yes, and then as Lynn pointed out, I was sort of MIA on Thursday. Thursday would be Thursday Aussie time, Wednesday, and thanks to Ruth, I actually showed up. I was in the middle of trying to pack for the retreat and try to unpack things from Floorpocalypse 2024, and it didn't quite work out. And then I dropped the ball, and I realized that that's a growth area for me to have that stuff set up and make it a little bit smoother. So I appreciated Ruth mentioning that. So. And then the other real short thing is just and I kind of already said this, so this is a double unpacking or double debrief, but really the power of alternating between silence and sharing. That's definitely not nagging Ruth, but the alternation between sitting and then sharing, or being part of the sharing, and then sitting and sharing. For this retreat, to make it so we were able to get sharing, I ran around with the microphone, and Jeff joked that it was like I had personified the chat here in the Do Nothing Project, but in the retreat. So I would chime in sort of every so often with a share like I would in chat. But that alternation between sitting quietly and sitting purposefully, and then being part of the sharing, and then hearing how things were coming up for folks, or what they were, how they were working through things, is really a powerful part of the pop-up Sangha community that sprouts up in the middle of a retreat. So I think that's about it. We've been going for like 50 minutes, which was about 10 minutes too long, but Yes, Cindy, I think there is a desire to try to make Home Base with Jeff be your sort of one-stop shop. And I will offer that as feedback to Jeff and the team. Yeah, and there have been, so Susan, you had pointed out there has been some things that are posted on Facebook. There is a presence on Instagram as well, and so you'll see some of the things like Jeff's giving a talk in Florida later this year. I think I did press for this the last time, and I've already forgotten. Posted some links for it. I thought it was a retreat. I mistakenly said it was a retreat, but it's a speaking engagement. He's speaking as part of an overall like program. So, all right. So thank you to Brooke too for that impromptu piece. Paris, Ontario. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then if you're planning or if you're looking at your calendar, the CEC's annual retreat is usually, I think, the first weekend. I think it's the first weekend in August. Maybe Patrick, Stella, and Ruth can correct me if I'm wrong on that. So just getting an idea of like the sort of practice opportunities that are out there. But yeah, Cindy, Jeff and I both realized that the links are sort of scattered. As we were closing out the retreat, we wanted to make available resources and let everybody know kind of how to plug in. Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't realize that. Thank you, Ruth. But yeah, we were trying to coalesce all the links and things that are possible as far as practice opportunities and between the overlap of the Consciousness Explorers Club and then what Jeff does, what Kevin Lacroix does for CEC as well, and then my Wednesday thing. So what is the best address to send Jeff a note? I think there is still a form on jeffwarren.org, Mitch. So if you go to jeffwarren.org, I think all of the posts to jeffwarren.org will go to Jeff's assistant. That I think is probably the best way. And then Mitch, if you don't hear back, then let me quick drop this in here. You can message me on Instagram. That's another way to get. That would be a way to get a hold of me, and then I can forward things along. So, just a little bit of a roundabout way. Well, thank you. A big thank you to all y'all who stuck around until the end here. Yeah, again, just a super thank you to everybody in the community. Big datoing to everybody. And then Jeff will be back, or I believe Jeff is back next week. And then beyond that, I think Susan, I think that there's an idea of sharing everything really through Home Base. Like the Home Base is really the place for everything to go to. I think that's the hope, and then everything kind of can pull together. It was really interesting to hear people sharing where they've heard Jeff do meditations for all the different places between Calm and 10% Happier, and then the different places that Calm content and Jeff's meditations on 10% Happier also appear. It's so just beyond the things, and then so Home Base now is another place for those sort of pieces to be. So you're super welcome. Looking forward to getting out my reminder email with my live stream tomorrow, so that we have that all set and buttoned up. And then as someone had mentioned, I could potentially schedule those in advance. And so that's one of those things that I'm also looking to put together, but really keen on Wednesday Thank you very much, Brooke. Yeah, I'll be traveling back really early in the morning tomorrow, so hopefully the travel gods are merciful. They were amazing on the way out. Everything clicked in on my trip on Thursday. That's super amazing when those sort of things happen. I was sitting on the I-10, realizing that I had left my mom's house way later than I would like to have left, thinking I'm gonna miss the whole retreat because I'm sitting here on I-10, and there's really this sort of no escape. There's no way for me to get off other than to just kind of hope that we all got where we were going, like everybody in the traffic got where we were going. I was part of the traffic too, so I was holding someone else up. But yeah, so thank you for that. I will take any sort of positive wishes and well wishes for travel karma. Have an excellent for Lynn and anybody living in the future. Have an excellent Monday for all of our Australian folks, and have an excellent week. And then if you need a little pick me up in the middle of the week, there's a Wednesday meditation for you, and I'll see you there. Bye.